Hello, we're going to do some drawing in my grimoire. My grimoire is from Charming Bear Gifts, which you can find them on Facebook. So go check them out. They have lots of beautiful journals and grimoires and leather-bound books. They're beautiful and well made. They come, well, at least the one I purchased came with a cover. Isn't that nice? I like that cover. It's lovely. So anyway, let me walk you through the grimoire. And just as a definition, a grimoire is a place where you would put your spells and your incantations. Now, I probably could put recipes in here, but I have another little book that I use for that. And I think this would get too messy if I used it for recipes. So I'm going to be using it for my drawing. I've saved this. I've had this quite a few years already. It was a gift to myself. And I was going to use it to put in the definition of different items that are kind of witchy. And if you haven't figured out already, I sort of like kind of pushing that envelope a little bit. And I'm just checking, and I think I have some personal information in there, and I'm going to leave that out. Threshold was the very first thing that I put in aside from my personal information. And a threshold is the doorway through. And as you can see, it popped through to the other side of the paper, what I was drawing. And I was very disappointed in that. And I did a few things before I realized what was happening. And I was kind of, sad about that. So I ripped them out, which you probably shouldn't do, but I did it anyway. So glyph and moon glyphs? Yeah. So a hieroglyphic that is used to symbolize something. So I thought that was interesting. There's one of my figures that I did, faces, and this is to help keep the handwriting straight. Now, about my handwriting, I'll show you the bookmarks in a second. But about my handwriting, I have horrible, horrible handwriting. Some days I have great handwriting. I do not know why that is. So I was, just as an example, I was told that my handwriting was similar to an old man who would shake. So, yeah. And I have taken calligraphy classes. I've practiced all the scripting, all the writing, anything for years. And my handwriting, sometimes I would take a message, I would answer the phone, I'd take a message. I worked in offices, I worked as a florist, blah, blah, blah. And I would have to rewrite what I wrote because when I would write as I was listening to the message, I would not pay attention to my handwriting. So I'd have to rewrite things so people could read my handwriting. And that's the way it is. Nowadays, when I journal, I don't care because it's for me and no one's going to read my journal. So no one has to read my journal. But drawing, believe it or not, I have the similar problem with drawing. I have a difficulty. I could draw something one day and it looks beautiful and cute, which I will show you the drawing later, at the end of the video, that I wanted to recreate in a larger scale. There are days when I can recreate something and it looks great. And then there are days, for some reason, it just doesn't work out. Now I know the mechanics about drawing a face. I learned from Jane Davenport, Jenny Belly, who's on YouTube, many classes that I've taken about drawing a face. And another one is Willowing Arts. She does a lot of faces. And, there's a method to it. And I would follow that method. But if I like something, if I like the way I drew this one thing and I wanted to recreate it, sometimes I can't do it. And it's very frustrating. And I don't know if that's akin to my problem with handwriting or what it is. Now, there are days where if I can have the perfect pen, I can have the greatest thickness of the material I'm using to write on, a great, what do you call it, point on the pencil, or a great pen. And one day it will be, oh my gosh, this is perfect. I like this. And the next time I use it, for some reason, it didn't work out. Just the way it is. So I'm going to be using a cuticle pusher. It's a wooden stick. I use it for mixing my paints and what have you. And it was something that was nearby because I didn't have a ruler. And I'm going to be using that to help me make sure that I get both sides of my face accurate. Because it's, when I draw the eyes, the way I draw the eyes, I have one side, looks fine. The other side, as I start to draw it, I have some issue. It seems like I didn't go up far enough. So just as an information, you have your oval or your circle for your face. About halfway down is where you start the eyes. Then if you take from the eyes to the chin, halfway is where the nose should go. From the nose to the chin, halfway is where the mouth goes, and the ears go at the side by the eyes, and they kind of come down and meet where the nose ends, more or less, depending. And if you're doing a character, that may be different. But that's how I generally eye it. So we're going to watch. I have it on regular speed as I'm doing the drawing. And then when I go on to do some other things, I'll pop in and talk you through that. But the end part of the video is done very quickly because I'm trying to color it in. I have major problems painting and coloring in things. So, that's not the biggest thing to me right now. That's not what we're doing. So I'm going to leave you here, and I'll pop back in a second. Okay, so what we're going to do here is I'm going to add some shadow first because I'm going to use a Stabilo pencil. A Stabilo pencil. Yeah, so it is water soluble and I think it gives some really nice shading. There's a problem with this video catching it right. There we go. And you have to go very light with this. Unless you want a really dark. You're going to see a problem around the nose area when I go to activate this. And I'm going in the spaces. Sorry that I didn't get the top. I didn't realize. Sometimes I get involved in this and I forget that I have the camera that I have to worry about. So the thing is getting that without spreading it to places you don't want it. And I put it where I think there's going to be a shadow, and that's fine. The problem is that when I didn't quite activate all of it. So I did a few, but there's a spot on the nose. I didn't quite activate the whole thing, and then that caused some marking. And oh well, I'm fine with it. It is what it is. But there we go. So let this be what it is, and we will continue. I'll let you just enjoy this part. If you have any questions or if maybe there's something you want to see, please leave that in the comments section because I'm going to try to do that. Case it hasn't been mentioned, the reason why I like doing this is because I think we all have something that we're afraid to do. We want to do, but maybe we don't do it because we're worried about being precise. I've always liked art and I liked creating art. I like doing crafts, and a lot of people who do fancy schmancy art don't see what I do as being artistic. And yet, in my mind, in my head, I think it is. And I think as a hobby, and because I'm older, I don't think we should put barriers on ourselves because look at all the things that you could have done or should have done or would have done as a young person, and you didn't because you felt you weren't creative enough. And I don't think that should be it. Whether you're 9 or 90, I think you can do this and enjoy it. And if you enjoy it, then have at it, because this is what we're here for. See, I forgot to do the nose, and then it's going to come back to haunt me. Yep. Now, see, this is where things start to come through because I wet the page. It's not too bad. I could glue 2 pages together, I suppose. I don't know. What do you think? So if you lasted this long, thank you so much for being here and watching. Please subscribe if you'd like to see more. I appreciate every like and comment. So here I am coloring with Faber-Castell markers. They're kind of thin. And then I fill in, try to make the color more, mixed, I guess. I use some Jane Davenport water-soluble crayons. And that seemed to make everything go, but then it got a little messy. I ended up using my hand to blend in the markers from Jane Davenport, and that worked out really nice, but it was messy. It was messy. So this didn't work. I tried to spread it with the water pen, but then it turned out, here's where I stumbled onto something. As I tried to mush it in, I found that using my finger worked out much better, and there was just enough moisture on my hands and left in the paper that it spread very nicely. And although I do kind of go overboard, you see the nose. Oh, I feel so bad about that nose. Anyway, the markers really, they are great for smaller things, but for a larger thing like this, I need to find something else. Paint would just go right through. And see, I made a mess there. Oh well, but there it is. So look at the two at the end. You'll see this one and the other one. Let me know what you think, and I will see you next time. Thank you so much for being with me. I appreciate it. Till next time.